Hello and welcome to the Real Women, Real Purpose talk show. I'm Ginny Robertson, founder of the On Purpose Woman Global Community and founder and publisher of On Purpose Woman magazine. Today we're exploring what's possible when people come together with intention, shared values, and a vision for something greater than any one individual can create alone. My guest is Linda Roebuck, founder of a Community of Transformation, or ACT, an Annapolis, Maryland organization that is celebrating its 25th year anniversary, 25 years of nurturing profound personal and collective transformation. Linda, I'm delighted you're here, delighted you're talking with me, and I can't wait to talk about all the wisdom that has sustained ACT for 25 years. So thanks for being with me today.
Oh, thank you, Jenny. This is such a pleasure and an honor to be with you. Long overdue. So I'm
Long overdue, you're so right.
looking forward to our talk today.
Well, I'm going to share with our viewers that you and I go way back, and I don't actually remember how we connected originally, but I do know that you wrote an article in the very first issue of On Purpose Woman magazine, which came out in December of 2003. And guess what? I just happen to have a copy of it here.
Oh my
I don't know if you can
God.
actually, is it backwards, I can't tell. Can you read it
No,
at
it's
all?
it's no you it's correct. Yes. It's oh my
Yes,
goodness. It's an old
here was
picture
the
too.
cover. It
Yes,
was a
I do
sweet.
remember that.
We had no idea what we were doing. And it's when I look at it now, it's like it was a little clumsy. It was a little, but it was so sweet. I was so proud of it. And my designer and then daughter-in-law, Alicia, did such a wonderful job over those few years that we did it. Actually, 12 years. We did it for 12 years and then took a break and then I took it online. But it was a print magazine back then. And so, um, your article was called Intuition, a Valuable Tool. And so I want to go back and talk about how ACT got started, but I want to throw this out first since we're in this flow of intuition. How have you used intuition over these 25 years as a leader, as a founder and leader of this organization? Maybe one key way that you think you've used it.
Well, I one key way that just comes to me right now is having a hit that the way our group was operating was the new paradigm for leadership.
Okay.
And just that was a big hit. And I had to stop the book I was writing and I shifted to creating a circular leadership together we rise book by
How far
creating
in? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
this was in well it launched in 2019, so it hasn't been that long now. It's
Okay.
what, six
So you've been
years
going for a while
5 years?
and then
Yes.
decided to make the shifts and changes. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, just
It
it
is a
was no,
great book.
we'd
I
been
have a copy of the
operating
book.
with
Yeah.
that, we just didn't have the name for it or
Oh,
what
I
to
see.
call it.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
But that's when, oh, we have this work. We've got to share it. That was what
Okay.
came through. My intuition needs to get out to the
Wonderful.
world. So,
For those
yeah.
of you watching, we're going to talk about exactly what they used, what they did, but you have to hang out for just a little bit longer because I want to go back and talk about what originally inspired you to create a community of transformation. And did you have a particular vision that you were holding in the very beginning?
Oh, my dear. I had a vision. I was out, out in West Virginia in a very sacred spot doing like a new moon ceremony and had been there that night. The next morning, I was on the property and everything kind of just stopped in my world and everything was glistening. It was like golden. And I felt like I was transported. I was in a different zone. And I saw this rainbow that just kind of in my vision. And it was shining, it was sparkling. And I saw the words International Healing and Ascension Center. And I thought, I don't know what that is about. So I
Mhm.
held that to myself. I might have told two or three of my close friends until it came a time that I had the intuitive prompt to say, I need to put the call out and see who would want to come and co-create. But at that time, I didn't understand the word ascension like I do now.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
it would have been considered woo-woo. So I thought when I put the ad in the paper, I put a little ad in the paper. Had they ever, had anybody ever felt they were to be part of a healing center? I left out the word ascension. And we had like around 100 people show up at our local library for that first meeting. And that
I,
happened in February of 2001. And it was awesome. People couldn't get in. One lady told me recently, I was trying to be at that first meeting, but I couldn't get in the door. So,
standing room only. The doors were
and there were
bulging,
people
huh?
standing and sitting on the floor. Yeah. So that was the
Well, that
beginning.
must have told you were on the right track a little bit at least, right? How
Yes.
thrilling that must have been for you. Probably a little scary too, maybe.
Oh yeah. I was just beating. I talk about intuition. I was having to use my intuition for everything. That's how it would
Hmm.
be coming through. And I
I
had a
didn't
very
think,
supportive husband. I had a very supportive
oh,
husband too. And I just put that out because of Don. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. You're right. It really does take a village, and a strong male figure around us is always very helpful, I think. A loving and supportive male figure.
Yes. Yes.
I wasn't going to ask you this question, but I think I want to now. Uh, your intuition is a big piece, is the cornerstone of this. When did you start? Do you remember when you started to trust your intuition? Like at what stage of life did you start to actually, because we have intuition, women especially have wonderful intuition, but it takes us a moment for us to actually start to trust it, to
I
learn to
know when it
trust it.
was. I
Okay.
know when I could say the time frame, and it was in 1995.
Mm,
And I had an experience that was out of this world, and has totally. I'm not going to talk about it now because it's a story and it would take some time. But I knew that I was not this body,
mm.
and I was much, much beyond what I thought had been told and what my story was. And call it well, anyway, it was one of those moments it's changed my life. But that's when it all kicked in. That's when I'd been studying things along the way, like A Course in Miracles and The Keys of Enoch and some different texts and study groups and talking. But that particular experience was a lived experience.
Mm,
And I
yeah,
couldn't deny that I was not what I thought I was. I was something beyond it. I don't usually
you're being
talk about
called to
this.
something. You're being called to something way greater, right?
Well, that was when I think I started trusting my intuition because I thought, "Hey, how can I not trust something that knows more than I think I know?"
Mm, it's beautifully said. Thank you. How did you come up with the name A Community of Transformation? And what do you mean by transformation in that respect? I know what I think transformation is. What did you intend it to
Well,
be?
it was the first time probably that we used some of the very foundational pieces of circular leadership. We were coming up with a name for our organization. And so there were, um, and this would have been in 2001. It was that first year.
Mhm.
And this large group, and I think there were about at that time, maybe 60 or 70 in the group. It started dropping off when people thought, I think, that they were going to come to a center of transformation. They were going to be part of a center and they were going to be doing their treatments or whatever different things people
Okay.
wanted. And when it turned out not to be that, things started changing. But we initially
Mhm.
incorporated as a nonprofit organization as a center of transformation. And I believe that was true. And then we changed it later when we said, "Oh, we're not a facility. We're not having our." So one of our brilliant members of our board said, "Well, we could call it, still keep ACT, call it a community of transformation." And we all like that idea. So
Okay.
that's how it started with the name and all.
Yeah.
And transformation, what does that mean to me? It's a total shift in perspective. Um, it's a change of mode of how I operate. Um, it's interesting because I'm just getting right now, it's transportation of to a higher way of being.
I love that.
Transportation to transformation, right?
There you go. Wow.
So
Get
what
your
was
ticket
yours? I'm
now.
curious. What was yours? What's your,
Oh, I didn't know I was going to talk about it. I don't know that I have
well, you
all
don't
the
need to.
words for it. No, I don't mind. I just don't have a clear definition to say out loud, but I know what it feels like for me. Something has shifted that is not what it used to be, and I will never go back to what it used to be.
Well,
That's a very clumsy way to kind of say
no,
that.
it's pretty
There's
much in
something
alignment
has,
with, yeah, what I
yeah,
experienced. Yeah,
yeah, it's more of a layman's kind of definition, I guess.
that was a good one.
And I mean, we said we go back a ways, and I started the On Purpose Woman community a year before you started ACT. And I know we both care deeply about creating these communities where people can grow, connect, and support. From your perspective, what are some of the key ingredients that help a community truly thrive?
I'm going to use something that I use a lot, but use four things. First thing is the intention, and there's a shared
Mm,
intention or goal. Okay. And then the second one would be the focus, the attention, intention, attention, the focus on what it is. And I think the next two are the critical ones, and that would be honor. Honor the people who you're with and what you're co-creating, or and then love is the
mm,
thing that weaves it all in. And it's not like, oh, we use love so it's so different. I can't describe, but I know deep within me what love means. And it's not my romantic love, but it's just this
yeah.
overwhelming sense of I'm connected with everything, every person, and I just threw out one of those stink bugs today from my house. And I thought, I don't, so I have to say, but if you love everything, everything is part of it. So
Yeah, that's
I don't know.
right. That's right. We started talking a little bit about the circular leadership. So,
Mhm.
um, the title of this talk, what's going to show up on YouTube and what's showing up here, is the power of co-creating a shared vision. So, how does ACT approach creating a shared vision so that it truly belongs to the whole community? And I know that you're going to talk about the circular leadership, and if there's anything else that you want to throw in there right now, just how did it all come together? How does it work? Because some people watching this may want to do something similar in their own organization.
This is a good question, and I don't know that I have a good answer, but the answer that comes to me right now is if you share your vision and you to people, if they catch it, if they want, then they come in, they come towards you, and you can have discussions, and it starts. And like that would happen in an organization when people started coming to ACT, were really liking what we were doing, wanted to be part of it and help build. So on the other hand, we lost people. It just wasn't their vision.
Yeah,
So that's what I think. It's not something you can force. It's you share, you put it out, and then those that resonate, they collect with you, come together with you. And
yeah,
it's not yours. It's a shared, and they always it. The vision that ACT has now is so beyond the beyond that I could even think of. I mean, it's not articulated quite yet, but it's forming. I can feel it when
mm,
I attend some of they invite me as a founder to participate in some of their retreats. And so I get a sense of, and it's just so heartwarming to see how it's going to go even further. and broader, wider, whatever,
Mm.
than I could imagine. And I keep thinking and I'm talking about you and your work, we who are like kind of aligned with our purposes and so forth, we're going to be able to affect the whole quadrant of this world that we're in. And I don't know why quadrant comes to me, but that's one of the images and words I've been given. Yeah.
Hmm. I have to chew on that one for a bit. I like the sound of that. I'm getting
Yeah.
into this dreamy state with you, Linda. I might
Oh,
just
no, no, no.
forget where I am, and
Put you to sleep.
my voice is getting a little dreamy sounding. Yeah, I think you're lulling me into a greater state of peace than I was before, and I was in a pretty good state before.
You were in a good
Um,
place.
I
Yes,
was. Yeah, I am. I
you
am.
are.
Well, I want to throw this out real quick. For those of you watching, whether you're watching us live or on the replay, you may be wondering, well, how does ACT do? What do they do out there? I mean, she's talking about a lot of theory, some ideas, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later. So you'll get to, and some of you, if you're local in Maryland, you can experience some of these things firsthand. And I don't know if you all do any Zoom gatherings. I'm not aware of that. But if people become members, they can actually get the recordings of the live things that you do, the in-person things that you do. We'll talk about all that before we wrap up today. But
Okay.
I really want to talk about this whole idea of discernment and consensus, which is part of this leadership model. Because the
Absolutely.
leadership model that you're using and that you wrote about, the collective book that you all participated in, is very different from the old hierarchical, I don't know if that's the right way to say that, I think, order, somebody's at the
Yeah.
top and then all the organization charts, all those things that you never saw circles. It was always a pecking order, if you will. So talk about how discernment and consensus is used and what some of the great results are from doing that.
Well, one of the things that makes ACT unique, if you want to be on the board, you have to go through and commit to going through a discernment process. And that
Mm,
is to say, oh, do does this match my goal of what I'm here for? Do I fit with this? There are a series of questions that's reflective. They don't have to turn their answers in. They just have to document that they went through the process. It's a deep inner searching so that when they say yes, they determine, yes, I'm to be on the board. Then they submit their application. So everybody that is on our board has been through that discernment process. So that's one way we use discernment right up front. But anytime we have decisions to make, we go through the discernment process and listen to people. It takes longer, but now it's getting even quicker. It used to take, sometimes you think, oh, I don't know, so much easier. Somebody just tells you what to do. But
mm. Yeah.
to get the to get the investment, you know, and we've had times when people couldn't go along. So we do the thumbs up, thumbs down, or sideways. If it's sideways, we always have a conversation. And if it's down, and it's interesting because sometimes when the dissenting person maybe shares why they were really dissenting, we went, wow, we hadn't thought about that.
Mm,
And we have a richer conversation. That's an example of how we operate. And another thing we do have structure where we have guidelines or ground rules, about how we operate.
hmm
And one of the things is when the energy, we usually have a space holder, a timekeeper, and a space holder. And the space holder is usually responsible for, or anybody on the board can call it. Things are getting a little wonky right now. We're not following the guidelines, like people start side talking or getting we just call time and
mm.
say, let's take a minute and go into the silence. And as soon as we do, it's like, and when we get to that silence, and we know it's usually about, I'm saying usually about 3 to 5 minutes at the most when that happens. And then people speak from that place, and it is it has never failed
Mhm.
that we
Wow.
can't come out with something better, and everybody can agree. So that I just really think it's powerful.
It is so powerful. And
So
wow.
that's discernment, and that was kind of pulling them both in, with
Yeah. Yeah.
decision making.
And you said earlier that sometimes the discernment process takes a while, or it did take a while initially, but look at all the time that you're saving, even if it doesn't come together as quickly as you'd like. I mean, for one, when somebody gets on the board, they're probably on the board for their term. They're not getting in there and getting disillusioned because they've already gone through the discernment process, and then they see it in action, you know, or
That
if they maybe weren't quite as honest with themselves about the discernment process, maybe they get in there and go, "Oh, this really isn't for me."
you're
But
right.
I just think that it saves time just in dissension and conflict, and the resolutions of those can be done in such an, you mentioned honor earlier, in such an honorable way where everyone has input, everyone has value, and not you're not always going to get your way. And that's just the way it is. You agreed to consensus, right?
Hmm. I don't
Wow, I love
want.
that. I love it.
Yeah, I think I want to just mention briefly one of our members currently was on the board years ago, early on, before we got fine tuned. And
Mm.
she was having real, and she would speak it too. That's my phone, I think. Home phone's not supposed to ring. Let me
I
just
can't
take
hear
them
it.
out. Oh,
It's not
okay.
recording it. Yeah.
Well, it has definitely taken me off my question. So let me go back.
Mm.
What was I answering? Um,
Well, you were starting to talk about somebody who's on the board, who was
oh,
on the
yeah, who
board.
just said early on, because we hadn't got it fine tuned or whatever, that it was just too slow. She was wanting to have
Mm.
answers quickly, and and now she loves it. She's back on the board, and wow, this is the way to do it. And
Mm. Yeah.
it may have taken a little, but it doesn't take that long now, like it did early on. So, and we've learned a lot. We've refined over the years.
Yeah. No, I've never been part of that process with ACT. I'm not on the board, but I would imagine I've had that kind of experience with other groups, and I'm thinking that if you come in that mindset with that mindset, then you're more open. And I've started talking in the last couple of years about what I call generous listening, which is just different from being a good listener. A generous listener is different. And that if you're sitting in a circle and someone has the floor, if you will, and we're in that generous listening space, then we're not being in judgment in a negative place. We're not waiting for them to shut up so we can talk, which I've been in that position before in the past. It's just, and it feels very loving and honoring. And yeah, what do you want to say about that? Am I right?
I don't know. I've been in your meetings, and I really love the way you have a timekeeper. We have timekeeper, and so
Mhm.
we usually do one round of everybody has like 3 minutes to share whatever's on their heart. Nobody responds. We just go around. If we need to, we go around again if there's an issue or something. But just some structure that kind of the guardrails or whatever that kind of keep us on center and on point with
Yeah.
timing and things. But it's, like I'm not in on the board right now to be there but they are putting together amazing, our gatherings, our monthly gatherings are over the top. And there's just such learning, and there's always a piece of just the community uh, loving each other, so to speak.
Hmm.
Supporting is probably a better word because that's what that kind of love is. And I guess I'm just pleased with the way it's progressing and moving. And I would love for this. I could see at one time I wanted to say circular leadership is a revolution. I mean, it's a revolutionary idea.
Kind of radical. Yeah, very radical,
And we could
unfortunately.
really, but wouldn't it be great if we all operate? I could just see these circles around the globe, all conjoined like the Vesica Pisces, if you know the sacred geometry.
Oh,
Uh,
yes, yes.
yeah, with the
Yeah.
two circles that come together.
It's a beautiful
But
vision for sure.
I could see that around the world. And I feel like that's what's going to happen. Eventually, those of us who are, or those who are here, when I don't know what's going to happen, but it feels like something is going to be lifted up, or just we may be walking in another dimension without even realizing it, or it
Mm,
could be paths diverge, we don't know. But I know if we come from loving and non judgment, we're going to be able to do it together.
yes. Yes, I agree. I agree. You mentioned your meetings and they're like amazing. Let's talk about what you all offer to people around Maryland in Annapolis once a month. And then we'll talk about your special event you have coming up later this month. But what is the
Okay. Yeah.
purpose of these gatherings and what are you bringing to the community?
The purpose of the gatherings is to build community, let people begin to know each other, and also to educate or to expose people to different ideas and things
Hmm.
that are current. And you've been a presenter before for ACT.
Hmm.
It's just that was when we were in the place where we were meeting. I think you were there then. I get confused sometimes
Yeah,
whether it was Unity or
right, right.
ACT. But
Yeah.
at any rate, there's just the meetings usually contain time to socialize a little bit with somebody, to get to know, partner with somebody different, uh, hear new information, be able to interact with the speaker and what their knowledge is. And so it's community building. That's what they're really for, and
Yeah.
all those benefits.
And how can people find out more about that?
Okay, the ACT website, best place is ACT Annapolis. All just
Mhm.
actannapolis.org. And
And that will
easy to,
also be in the text of this video. Sorry to interrupt you, Linda.
oh, please.
Go ahead.
Well, no, that I was going to say, and well, that will show what's coming up and what we've done,
Yeah,
and then,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and
Go to
opportunities.
and
At,
actannapolis.org. Is that right?
correct.
Okay. I will make sure that the text of that is in that the website link is in the text of this video, both on Facebook and on our YouTube channel. Go in there and check it out, people. You can read about the organization. You can look and see what's coming up. It's always the second Sunday of each month. Is that correct?
Except
And
in May, which is usually Mother's Day. So we
okay,
usually
oh,
don't do it
okay.
on.
2 to 4, so it doesn't interfere with a lot of things that you do on Sundays. And check it out. Is there a fee for attending?
There's no fee. People can come. We welcome people. We do have a membership if they choose to join. There's a membership fee which
Mhm.
supports our continuation. And
Yes.
we are nonprofit, so that probably could get some refund for the
Hmm.
payment for
Write
the
it off a little bit.
membership.
Yeah.
Yeah, write it up. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Let's talk about this 25th year celebration you have coming up.
Well, they have kind of left me to just be in awe of what's going on, because I don't know a
You
lot
don't
of the
have to
people.
do anything to get ready for it.
I'm
Is that
not
right?
doing anything.
Oh, aren't you blessed? Yes.
Um, but I am appreciating and what is going on. So let me tell you what I know, what I'm excited about,
Okay.
because I was instrumental in connecting with Dr. Christine Page. She's going to be a keynote speaker. The speaker is only going to be, she'll be 45 minutes for the,
Hmm.
um, she's going to be working with the ACT board the next day. But for the gala, she'll have that we're going to have wonderful food. I understand it's going to be catered. It's a kind of dressy affair. We get to dress up, and there'll be like silent auction going on, and music, and want some dancing as well. So we danced the last time I was with you, Jenny, right?
We danced a
Yeah,
lot. Yeah,
the,
just a
yeah,
few
I had
months
a
ago,
nice
really.
little birthday party. Yeah.
We did. I'm looking forward to some dancing. What's the date on that, Linda?
And that, oh yes, March 28th, 5:30 in the afternoon, goes from 5:30 to 9:30. Lots of activities and time to just get to know people, be with people,
Mhm.
and hear Dr. Page. She's incredible. I think she'll be talking more and more. She's has been one of my teachers over the years. Very, very gifted on intuition. She is a medical doctor, but she's very, very she grew up from in a family that of women in particular that were very spiritual, and
Mhm.
so she has her underpinning of that. And she wrote the book that I remember reading that was kind of helpful to me on alchemy, spiritual alchemy.
Mhm.
That was a number of years ago. But anyway, she's going to be fascinating, giving us her latest, whatever
Wonderful. Is
it's.
she local?
And she now I think she lives in, oh man, I think it's Arizona now.
Oh, wow. Okay. So
So
this is a
she's coming
even
in
bigger
to be
treat
with
because she's
us.
coming in. Yeah,
She is going to be
wonderful.
in person. Yeah.
Well, I'm really looking forward to being there. And at the last On Purpose gathering in Columbia, I threw it out because I don't have a date for that night because that's Don's standing Earth Save event is every last or third, fourth Saturday,
Oh, I
every last
know that.
Saturday. And so I put it out that I need a date. So, I
Oh,
hope some women will come and join me, but I'll know a lot of
oh,
you
I get
there.
you. That kind of date, a real
Oh,
date,
oh yes,
not a
yes.
date on the calendar.
That's a
Okay,
real
got
date.
it.
I don't need the date again. You're right. And I just want to also throw out that this is anybody's welcome to come. Just go on the website. The information is there. You can get your tickets in advance because it might sell out. And it's at Unity
Well,
by the
they're
Bay,
selling.
correct?
They are
Yeah.
selling. So get it quickly
Yeah.
because yesterday that's what I understood. They're
And it's
going
at
pretty
Unity
quick.
by the Bay, which is such a beautiful facility. I just think
Hmm.
that is such a gorgeous place. So I'm really looking forward to it. But
Me
before we
too.
wrap up though, I want to ask you at least one more question.
All right.
Do you have a vision? Do you have a vision for the next 25 years of ACT?
It's funny you asked that because this morning I got up and I thought, what's the new vision?
Mm.
What I don't know. I was wondering if you would ask. I wrote some, just I journal in the mornings. That's just one of the ways. And this is kind of what came out. I'm not, I had my glasses. I have two pairs. So wait a minute. Um, um, I'm just gonna, maybe that's not. All right. Well, I don't think I'm gonna read, but we are in new territory. And that territory is quantum. And I asked, what does that mean? And what I got was things emerge or happen around us that we can't make sense of or explain. There are new energetics at play that require us to trust ourselves. To do that, we must be willing to go within, to get quiet and still, to find our communication style with our own deepest knowing, and then trust what we know from that space. And so we must turn inward and ignore the noise of the 3D world, which would distract us. A new era is unfolding, and we have the opportunity of a lifetime to help with the shift. And for this, we have come. That doesn't really go into what I thought I remembered the vision, but it's like we can't visualize it yet because it's beyond our understanding, and we have to trust. And the best way is we can't depend on outside resources or people to tell us or this. We can just open our internal. We've got to help ourselves remember who we really are. And I started taking this class, and I've done this before, but the partner asks you, "Who are you?" And you say, you go back and forth, "Who are you?" And you do this for like too long. You feel like, oh, it's, but then you really realize, who am I? And
Mhm.
anyway, it's pretty powerful, but I feel like we've got to remember who we are and why we're here
Who we are at our essence.
at our essence,
Yeah.
the
Yeah. And
truth
why
of
we're
us.
here.
Yeah,
Because we are the ones we've been waiting for, right?
you're right, Jenny. That's what
I've
we
been
are.
I've been hearing that for the last 50 years, I think, you
I
know.
know. And
Uh,
we're here, but I now we've moved to a different plateau. So I
yeah.
think the leap is going to be enormous or quick, and it's a quickening that will happen
Hmm.
for us. Exciting, and we're here.
It's very exciting. And you shared that vision not just for ACT, it's for all of us individually and collectively, I think. It sounds beautiful for the organization, but also as individuals and as the collective. Wow. Yeah.
I think that, yeah, that's was for me as well. Yeah, thank you.
Very wise. Thank you so much. Any last words? Any final? You could repeat something. What do you want to leave our viewers with, Linda?
Well, I'm thinking of my husband right now, and one of he has wisdom beyond my understanding sometimes.
Mm,
So there's several things that um, are coming to me that I think I can encapsulate in a couple of sentences. And it's, you've heard this before, but it's one he would use. Oh, I just lost my thought. And as soon as I said that, trying to justify what it was, okay, oh
yeah.
yeah, love is the answer. What's the question? That would
Mm,
be one he would say. But what he reminded us of in ACT all the time was how we are together is more important than what we do. Let that one sink in, because I feel like that is this the message I would want to leave with myself and with others who might be listening, is how we are
how
together
we are together is more
is more
important
than what we
than what we do.
yeah,
Yeah. Say how we be,
how we be.
how we be, and how we interact and respond and connect and honor. That word honor. I love that word. I don't think that word's used enough.
I agree.
It's a great
That's one
word.
Ed and I
It's a great
used to
word.
use all the time. I have to give you one little thing. The day when I was getting, I thought, oh, I've got to get the circular leadership book. So I pulled it off the shelf, and I didn't this, and then I dropped it, and it spilled out. And what was in it was this little blue jay feather. Can you see? Um,
And
and I thought that was Ed's message to me,
wow,
and
wow,
and I knew it, and so it's just pretty cool. I love these
very
times
cool.
we're in, and I love having the opportunity to visit with you, Jenny, and talk about this. So
It's been wonderful. And you and I are going to get some one-on-one time in person soon,
yes,
I
we
hope.
will.
And I'll see you at the
Yes, we
gala.
will.
And I also I want to let everybody know that I am going to put the book, the link to get the book on in the text of this video as well when I go back and add all that after. And Linda, it's truly inspiring to see, a community celebrating 25 years of transformation, shared values, and just heart-centered leadership. And congratulations to you and everyone else who has been a part of this, the ones who came early, the ones who came in the middle, the ones who came late, the ones who are still there, like the community that I created 26 years ago. People have woven in and out over the years. I used
Yeah,
to really get hurt when people would leave. It used to hurt my feelings a bit before I really understood. It was like I felt it was personal, and it's typically not personal, probably never personal, really. But and then often they weave back in, like you and I keep weaving out of each other's lives.
yes,
And I just
yeah,
love that. And I want to just throw this out there to anyone watching that things like this are happening all the time. People are leaving and showing up and back in. New people are crossing our paths. We have to be paying attention. We have to be paying attention because we'll miss it otherwise, you know? And the only way we can pay attention is to be the way Linda's talked about being, to be present, to be loving, to be in a generous listening space, all of those things. Magical people appear.
Do they do?
And I had no idea I was going to say all that, but thank you. Thank you so
Oh, thank
much.
you. Beautiful. Thank you. Okay.
And I'll just wrap up here and tell any of those who feel inspired by what you've heard today. I encourage you to learn more about ACT and perhaps experience one of the gatherings that Linda mentioned. I've been, they're wonderful, and there's usually always great music that comes with it as well. Great, some kind of live music. And thank you for joining me today. And until next time, everyone, keep sharing your gifts, keep living your purpose, and remembering the power of coming together to create something greater than we could ever create alone. Thanks for watching.